Hello everybody. Today I would like to tell you some short conversation between the man and the woman. Number 1. The woman tells the man she loved the white singer sang, and the man agreed with her, and he said the singer had beautiful voice, and the woman told she hoped they could get the tickets for her concert. Number 2. The man asked the woman if the telephone repair person had come, and the woman replied had yes, and she says he had come after lunch. And the man told the woman they couldn't use your phone until that afternoon. Number 3. The woman told the man she liked to apply for a loan, and the man asked to fill out that form and see one of the officer, and the woman told she hoped she could able to get money for that day. Number 4. The man told the woman he had read her new book, and he says and he told he was a great writer, and the woman thanked him for that, and he asked if he had read all her book, and the man replied unfortunately he hadn't had time because he wrote a novel too. Number 5. The woman told the man the services in this restaurant were very slow, and the man agreed with her, and he said he hoped the waitress come soon because he very hungry, and the woman told the man the waitress hadn't even bring their drink, and she said she could give her tips. Number 6. The man told the woman he finally had an appointment with his doctor that afternoon, and the woman asked if he had just for 2 weeks, and the man replied, and then he had cough and his head hurt. Number 7. The man told the woman he was planning to give a test for the first day of school, and the woman replied she didn't like tests, and the man told the woman if his student heard that they wanted to go to her class. Number 8. The woman asked the man if what time the accounting had come that afternoon, and the man replied he could come as soon as he had finished that form, and the woman told she hoped she had the number correctly that time. Number 9. The man advised the woman to eat less and more and exercise more, and the woman complained to him about the fact that first he changed her tires, and then he wanted see more exercise, and the man replied as physician he knew what were best for her. Number 10. The man suggested the woman hungry because the taxi was there, and the woman told the man, wait a few minutes because and she said she could be right there. And the man told the woman he hoped the driver hadn't put matter on. Number 11. The woman told the man that flowers were beautiful, so bright and colorful, and the man agreed with her, and he said he grilled them himself on seat. And the woman told she wished she could plant pretty plants as him. Number 11. The man told the woman he had gotten huge tip for his last pasture. And the woman asked how much, and the man replied, that fare were $5, and she tipped him $2. Number 13. The woman asked the man if she had messages. The woman asked the man if she had gotten any messages, telephone messages, and the man replied, the mechanic had called, and he said he finished repair on her car, and the woman were very happy about that, and he said she could pick it up. He could pick it up after tennis lesson that afternoon. Number 14. The man first introduced herself, and he offered to help her, and the woman replied he would like to book a flight to Paris the following week, and the man replied he could get the good price on that, and he asked if he could reserve a hotel room for her too. Number 15. The woman asked the man if he would fly with the city authors, and the man replied he flight the violin, and the woman said she heard he had concerts at the stadium the following week, and she asked if he could get see some tickets.